You know, we don't overcome sin by praying for more strength. I mean, this is what James is saying. He says, "Submit yourselves to God and resist the devil, and he shall flee from you." We got to understand that unless you've entered the faith and water baptism where our sin is taken away, we're talking about the remembrance and the conscience of sin. This is what the writer of Hebrews is describing in chapter 9 and chapter 10. I mean, we got to understand our liberty from sin. I mean, this is what Paul is describing in chapter 6 and 7 of Romans. He who is dead is freed from sin. Or in chapter verse 14, sin shall no longer have dominion over you, for you're no longer under the law, but under God's grace. Why? Because he who is dead is freed from sin. I mean, look at what chapter 3, verse 20 says. No flesh shall be justified, made righteous by the works of the law, for by the law is the knowledge of sin, to know sin. This is what he's describing in chapter 7. I had not known sin but by the commandment, or sin by the commandment might become exceedingly sinful. I mean, we got to understand this is what Jesus and the writer of Hebrews and Paul are talking about, knowing the truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the truth. And he says, if you remain in my teachings, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Paul says some are ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth in 1 Timothy 3:7. The writer of Hebrews in 10:26 says, if we willfully sin after we receive a knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sin. I mean, we got to understand, it is the law is sin's strength. 1 Corinthians 15:56. We need to understand what that means. To know sin is only by the law, because that's what makes us conscious of that sin. When we're baptized, water baptized into Jesus Christ and into his death, God takes away that sin. He removes the consciousness of sin, the remembrance of sin. This is what the writer of Hebrews is describing in chapter 9 and chapter 10 of Hebrews. You don't need more prayer. You just need to know the faith. You need faith by hearing